Greg Abbott is continuing his absolutely disgusting campaign against trans kids inside of Texas. Take a look at this. It's a letter from the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services that they sent out just yesterday. Greg Abbott wrote that, quote, a number of so-called sex change procedures constitute child abuse under existing Texas law, and directed the agency to, quote, conduct a prompt and thorough investigation of any instances of a wide variety of elective procedures for gender transitioning, including reassignment surgeries, mastectomies, removals of otherwise healthy body parts, and administration of puberty blocking drugs. That letter was shared to a number of different government agencies inside of Texas and states that people in certain occupations, like doctors and teachers, have a duty to report any of these instances of care for trans youth, DFPS, or risk criminal penalties. So again, it is the Karenization of politics. It is the creation of everyone is obligated and incentivized financially to snitch on anyone living their life. And in this case, if you are a parent of a trans kid and you accept and love and understand your kid, if you are helping them to live the life that they want to live, you are going to be hounded and hunted down by any doctor who finds out about this, any government employee who finds out about this. You are gonna have to live your life in fear. That is the political culture that they are building there in Texas, Jeff.
Yeah, it's almost Orwellian when you think about it, turning neighbors, friends against each other, all over this insane culture war issue of trying to go and attack trans people. And again, all the stuff, you read through the letter and it's filled with massive misconceptions, right? And it's all couched in, but we got to protect the children. We got to protect the children. Well, the people who are most at risk are trans youth that are getting bullied and attacked in schools, and they have higher risks of suicide and anxiety and depression, not as a result of inherently being trans. It's about how they're being treated for being trans, for being just who they are. And of course, the misconceptions about things like puberty blockers, which, by the way, are not permanent. You can stop those, and then all they do is delay the onset. You can stop it at any time when you make a decision. Hormones, you can also stop at any time. And nobody under 18, at least it's incredibly, incredibly rare, can get the gender sex reassignment surgery. And so what they're doing is
it's an invented fantasy that they're using to scare people.
Yes, massive scaremonger tactics, and just using. And once again, we've seen the rhetoric before when it came to the gay community, how they're grooming children. It's a danger to children. It's the children that are at risk. And once again, it is just harming the most at-risk children. And so you really want to protect the children. Maybe you should keep them away from Republicans.
Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, I'm glad that you mentioned the thing about the lie that they're telling about the puberty blocking drugs. They are pretending that all we're trying to do is stop them from having irreversible decisions made before they reach 18. That is a very clever little sleight of hand, because of course what they're trying to stop people from doing is taking puberty blocking drugs, which they are reversible, block them from doing it so that they will experience puberty, which is far less reversible, and they know that that's the entire point. By the way, I want to read this comment here from Twitter account Trungles, who says, most queer kids have at some point in their childhood considered the possibility that they might have to go it alone in case their coming out goes badly. And now Abbott wants to deprive the trans kids who do have loving parents of their family support. Just evil. Goes on to say, pro-family, unless a family loves their trans kids. And all of this has nothing to do with concern. They don't care at all about these people. It is the ultimate example of the culture war. People throw that term around. I try to be very careful about what I mean when I use a term like that. Generally, what I consider to be the most disgusting culture war topics are things that matter in no way to the people launching the attacks, but can be the most important life and death issues to the people who will suffer as a result of the fake artificial elevation of this issue. That is what they're doing. They're doing it to maintain their political power. They don't care about the cost in terms of suffering and lack of acceptance, the potential rise in suicides that could result from a thing like this. They don't care at all. And if you're a conservative watching this, I understand there's a good chance you love this and you think finally, we've got a governor who cares about the issues I care about. I've been ignored by politicians for so long. But bear in mind, when you used to talk about being ignored, I don't remember them all saying, none of these coastal elites get what I think about trans kids. You pretended it was economic. And what, is your mortgage more secure if they stop kids from taking puberty blocking drugs? Your wage is gonna go up. You don't have to worry about medical bankruptcy if they stop these kids from being accepted by their families, by the state. How has your life improved as a result of this? You know that this is a con, that you're being played. Wake up, Jesus. Final thoughts, Jeff?
Greg Abbott, this entire attack on trans people, once again, it's not about protecting children. It's really about trying to protect Greg Abbott, as you said, because he doesn't like to protect people in Texas when it comes to winter storms, when it comes to losing their heat and electricity. So they need a little bit of a distraction away from the failures of their actual government.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.